we're doing this interview in late July. The Supreme Court of the United States has just dealt a blow to institutional racism, to systemic racism, in getting rid of racial preferences in university admissions. That was a real clear case of systemic racism in which universities said that they were going to count race as a plus in a holistic model, a holistic approach to making decisions as to whom to admit at universities. Now we don't have it anymore. So if you want to talk about systemic racism, we're much freer of it today because of the Supreme Court. Now, I don't agree that the U.S. is systemically racist. I think that is actually one of the fallacies that the left is selling in this country, because it is very clear that if you get people to believe that we have institutional, structural, and systemic racism, ergo, logically, the thing that Americans need to do is to replace all the structures, all the institutions, and the system itself. Now, what does the word system mean? The word system is just a Greek origin word that means the way everything works. And in fact, you find that the architects of critical race theory, Richard Delgado, whom I'm going to quote almost verbatim here, they say that racism exists in the ordinary business of society. That is nonsense. And no, we don't need to change all the structures, the systems, and the institutions. What we need to do is perfect America. America is not perfect and never will be so, by the way. It's a place on earth. We're humans, i.e. imperfect. Maybe we'll meet perfection after we go on to the other life. But on this earth, we're going to be imperfect. Humans have many bad chips. We have rapists, we have murderers, we have racists. We have some good chips too, by the way. But we have to, man has fallen. So we have to recognize that. But this idea that we're going to have to deconstruct and dismantle systemic racism to get to utopia, all utopias end in carnage and tears. So I really urge everybody to just not think in these terms, not to accept what the new cultural Marxists are selling. And this is really the inflection point in 2020, when the left had been talking about this incessantly from 2013 to 2020 with the emergence of BLM. There have been studies that have been made, including one by Zach Goldberg that was published in Tablet in September 2020, showing that the media began to use these terms on steroids after 2013 is because of BLM. So white supremacy, systemic racism will begin to be used by the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal. But it really is in 2020 when the managers and the heads of all our elite cultural institutions surrender and accept that we have systemic racism and begin to do, the country goes into a trance, a period of mass hysteria in which we do anything we can to get rid of systemic racism. But that I think has been a big mistake, and I think enough everyday Americans have woken up to this, and here we are in the middle of 2023 in a point in which both two sides of America are having a great and consequential war of ideas.